I'm Lorenzo and I'm going public. So my dad is a retired AME pastor, African Methodist Episcopalian, and I've always been accustomed to going to church on Sunday. As I got older, my dad would always impress upon me, I can't wait till you make the decision to then walk down the aisle and just confess and profess your to give your life to Christ on a more grander scale, because I had only been sprinkled as a child. When I was able to make the decisions to go to church when I wanted to, that habit went away. I was more into the worldly things of just having fun and being a teenager. And there was a disconnect, full transparency. I had a head knowledge of Christ. I felt like I knew the Bible. I understood the stories. I could tell you ad nauseum what I believed in, but it never was here. And that stuck with me for a while, like for all throughout my late teenage years to my early 20s. Until in college, I had went through a few trials, such as the first college I was at, I got kicked off the football team. I had never experienced that type of adversity before. I was not as focused on being the man I was raised to be, the one that I would be proud of, and I was wandering, right? I wasn't sure. I wasn't even sure if I believed in Christianity anymore. But I remember transferring to Campbell University and going through that and knowing that, well, bad things happen, right? And with those bad things, there's only one constant, and that was the Lord's grace. Two things happened. One, my wife's dad died and her grandmother passed within just about a year of each other. And after two funerals and seeing my wife go through the pain and trials of that, sitting with my dad with marriage counseling and understanding what the Bible said about being a man, being a kingdom man, that's when I knew it was time for me to rededicate my life to Christ in a way that I had never done before. Had I not given my life to Christ and made the decision to find a church home, I would have never met Chris and Karen and be in this seat now. When I met Karen at Orange Theory and she introduced me to Chris, the first opportunity I had to experience One City was in our dinner group. And that was totally, I would have never imagined being in a small group of, I don't know if I can say it, but we had never worshiped with white people before. I mean, the idea of having a white pastor is, it's foreign, right? It's foreign, but coming in and knowing the character, knowing Chris and Karen as Chris and Karen, before I knew that they were Pastor Chris and Pastor Karen, was extremely humbling, because I got to see what kingdom-minded leadership looked like, whether it's from seeing Chris and Karen, seeing Marty and Kathy, seeing Chris and Rachel, all the people that are in our dinner group share their experiences, share their vulnerability, share how, regardless of what happens in life, because life happened to them, that the Lord was the one constant that kept prayers answered, that kept breakthroughs happening, that kept miracles apparent. And when I hear them talk about their children and their marriages, us being the youngest in the group, that's what we strive for. And we never had friends that were like that. Being in One City was the first time we'd seen, well, at least I had seen, people being public and outward and bold about their faith and their walk and being unashamed. And it come from a place of, we love you, versus we're gonna judge you, and that's it. I'd never experienced that type of love and embrace before, outside of my dad. So now, being a husband, being a father of two boys, I want to make sure that I'm being that model, that example of what a kingdom man should be. I want to be the example and model of what a kingdom father should be, a kingdom husband should be. And when young men, especially young men that look like me, are in this world, I want them to know that, hey, this is where you should be. And I just feel like it's going to be a full circle moment. Having him dunk me underwater and experience that and have that moment be chronicalized, so when Bronze is old enough, he can see that. When Blaze is old enough, he can see that. And then, I mean, when we talk about being on fire for Christ, that is something they can always go back to and be a proud moment in the Herman history. So today is my full circle moment. My dad is baptizing me, and as a father, I am dedicating Bronson.
Lorenzo, me and your mama have, since the day you was born, have never stopped praying for you. That's a mama and a daddy thing. But to see you in this pool and for me to be able to lay hands on you and to bless you and to know that you honor me and have honored us, that's a God thing. That's a decision that I couldn't make for you, but you have to make it for yourself. And you have made it, and I'm proud, and we're proud of you. We bless you and your sons, your sons. So I baptize you in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Ghost.